Welcome to season 3, episode 6 of Just Conversation, no interviews. Today I have the great, world-renowned, one of the most artistic people I've ever met in my life, Mika Johnson. She's responsible for things such as the Gotta Gotta clothing line. She's responsible for curating the Kemet Collective women's line back in the early 2000s. She's responsible for talking to the youth, keeping them motivated with things. Right now, she's celebrating her second year of all black everything. If you've been watching Fox 29, you've seen her have her expose on there. If you saw on Channel 10, Channel 17, Channel 3, Channel 10, and all other outlets, she is really tearing up. She's been on BET. They've covered her all black everything. She's been on BET.com. Anywhere you look, whether it's WHAT, small venues, big venues, she's been curating a brand all across the country. But today, before we even get into the all black everything, today I want to talk to her about who is Mika Johnson, because the young lady I met in 1997 has grown so much and did so many things that I want to just talk to her about her journey through fashion and all her trials and tribulations that she has went through. And I want to thank you today for showing up. Give me some hand, cuz.
Oh, okay, that's what we do. Hey, okay.
You gonna reach across and hug you?
Oh.
But anyway, I'm gonna talk to you about your journey, because some people are gonna see, they're gonna see your highlights and not know what really goes into this journey that you've been on, from curating many brands. I know you've been in all types of magazines. I mean, back in the early 2000s, you've been in all types of magazines for your work. So kind of want to start, it's gonna be a journey. So I'll start from the I'll start with the first day I met you in California, Pennsylvania, back in 1996. You always was a person that was like fashion ahead. You was always into fashion. And one of the funniest things I remember when we were out in California, Pennsylvania, the African American, the black students around there, they were scared to go into Saks in Pittsburgh, in downtown Pittsburgh. And me and you was like, what is they talking about? Like, we Philadelphia, we go anywhere. We ain't scared to go anywhere. So, you know, when we were up there, you had some high fashion garments. I had some high fashion garments. So we actually went to Saks. You know, and so how long have you been into fashion? What does fashion mean to you?
Thank you for having me on, Sharif. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate this outlet for me to tell my story. I really thought I was coming on to talk about all black everything pop up. And when you said, no, I want to talk about Mika, it's just like, oh my goodness, like, thank you. So I want to say thank you, first of all. We did meet in 1996. I mean, whole different era. No podcast, no internet.
No, little bit of internet.
Yeah, it was
Computer
just
rooms.
starting.
Computer rooms.
It was just starting, right? But no Instagram, no Facebook, no social media. Right? So we're in a pre-social media age in 1996, and for you to know fashion, you had to know hip hop. That's how you did it. You had to know your area, which you were in, which we were from Philly. So Philly has always been a trendsetter in fashion. And my mom and my dad, you know, they went to Overbrook. So Overbrook is a high school, y'all. Always been known for fashion. So I come from a fashionable family, you know what I mean? And always wanted to be fly, always loved to be fly and flyness. So, and my mom and my dad also liked me to be fly too. So that's where that actually came from, is a family and that's a cultural thing. But when we went up to California University of Pennsylvania, they knew nothing about flyness. Like, they could give a damn about flyness. Only thing they cared about was
Boss jeans and plaid shirts.
Master P, Getting High.
West Coast Radio,
West
Coast.
They did not like Biggie. You know, we from Philly. We like Biggie. They like Tupac. You know what I mean?
We hated
they
Tupac.
They both
Sorry
were
to tell you,
alive.
Tupac wasn't that big in 1996 in Philadelphia.
Yes, they were both alive. You know what I mean? So us coming up there. Okay, so 1996. Let's just set the scene brief. You know, 1996. We black. This our first time going to somewhere else to live our life. I'm thinking the black people there gonna be like us, right? How would you know? No internet, no nothing. We get up there and they ain't like us at all.
Nope.
They listened to Tupac, we thought that was corny. They listened to Master P, we thought that was corny. Like they dressed corny. We thought all of
our culture and their culture was totally different. Totally.
They had gangs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had these red and white DKNY bowler sneakers. They was the shit back then. I couldn't wear them to Pittsburgh because where we were going, it was like you couldn't wear red, right?
Yeah.
So, but what that taught us was how to be fly without being designer. Like, so we got to this place called Gabriel Brothers, we would go there and we would ball out. And that's when I really expanded my vision of fashion outside of being designer, because they could give a fuck about
what you got on,
what you had on. And that was the first time in my life that I could really be me. Like I was being me, but I was being me in the confines of our culture of Philadelphia, being fly, being
with labels.
designer.
You had to be fly with labels.
Label fly. That experience allowed me to understand that first it was black people that didn't give a shit about no designer stuff. Yeah. Number two, you can be you. You know, without being in designer, Mika, you can still be fly without whatever. So look, we would go to games, ball out, get all the Timbs for like what, $25? I'm talking about the real Timbs, because they wasn't wearing none of that stuff.
Yeah.
To the point.
Not just games though, because we used to go to Lazarus at the mall. We would go to the mall and we would get all the polo shit. Like the best stores. Polo shit you can ever imagine was always on clearance. We would go there, the whole polo section was on clearance.
They didn't wear it and they didn't think they could go to the store. So let's get back to this story. Mm-hmm. The bus used to let us off right in front of the Saks in downtown area,
Pittsburgh,
right? Yep. The high-end clothing store, I think it was called Kaufman's or something like that. And they said they couldn't go in there. And I'm like, no, I'm waiting in this store until this bus comes. Because first of all, we in Pittsburgh, it's cold as shit, right? They're like, well, we can't go in there. We can't go in there. This is 1996, y'all. Like, these white people really had these people thinking like black people couldn't go in this store.
Well, I don't even the white people say. I think it just was their mentality.
But
their
how
mentality.
would you learn that?
I mean, because that's because they have a limited amount of knowledge. You got to remember, like when you from Philadelphia, and this is some real shit I learned from going around the country. And if you're from a big urban area and you have and there's a sense of black pride, you don't give a fuck who in nowhere. You're gonna walk into any store. You're gonna walk in any because you know what we were taught when we was young is that our ancestors sat at these counters so we can go to any store. Mm-hmm. So you ain't telling me I can't come to stores, but it wasn't like that out there with them. They were taught to kind of be submissive, probably by their own people was teaching them to be submissive. I don't know who told them they couldn't go in the store.
They thought they couldn't go in this store. That's what I do know.
Yeah, that's true.
Not only did we go in the store, we got credit cards for the store. Now, guess what? Not only can you come in this store, you could come in this store and shop in this store. Like, that's the type of situations that we were in up there. Like, no, now you can sit in the store, wait for the bus however long you want, because now you have a credit card to this store and you could come in here anytime you want to. But that was the mentality that we were what you call it? We weren't privy to. You know, we didn't know that people still thought like that or thought they couldn't go different places.
So they couldn't go into certain stores like that. That I was like, man, y'all crazy. And like one time I was up there and I had a mosquito outfit on and a girl was like, what's that, like Mossimo? I'm like, what the fuck is Mossimo? Massimo? Some shit like that. I mean, people had it, but I was like, no. I was like, no, this a whole lot more than some Mossimo. They was like, oh, we thought it was Mossimo. I said, oh, you thought wrong. This is like 30 Mossimos. But anyway, like it opened us up to the culture. And after a while, like what she's saying, like all of the designer stuff I went up there with, I didn't even wear it anymore. I just went straight like t-shirt and stuff like that. And I just would buy stuff up there. And when I came back home, I would have shit that people would understand. So that's how we were like on to the fashion thing up there.
That's what I mean. Like it opened us up. I have friends that I probably would have never had before in life because of me being stuck in Philly culture, right? That are still my friends till this day, right? Also, it opened me up to being a reseller. So we would go up there, you know, Sharif always was a businessman, right? And he like, we could bring that stuff back home and sell it. So I became a reseller. You know, I would come home.
Before it was online reselling
Yeah,
sneakers and all that stuff.
It was no
We're talking
eBay.
about actually going up there, buying up damn near everything that's banging in the store, bringing it back down and selling it for like a multiple of 3.
Yeah.
Because she got it, so she got such a low price, and it was like printing money, like for people to understand, and that was like probably her first adventure into hustling, buying for 1, selling for 2.
Yeah.
That was by going, because Gabe's is here now, but Gabe's wasn't here.
It's not the same.
It's not the same at all. But back in the day, believe it or not, Gabe's would have some real fly designer shit, like kind of like a Filene's Basement. But just imagine everything was in there was marked down dramatically. Everything that we
I mean, we really came up off the Timbs and the Nikes.
Yeah.
Like they would have all the fly Nikes, all the fly Timbs. And like I said, like that's the part that I wouldn't have got that experience any other place in the world. Like, and you talking about like we're in California, Pennsylvania, like what the fuck do you do there, right? But what we did there was amazing. Like I said, would never had the friends that I have till this day. Would have never opened me up fashion wise, and would have never got me out of that Philly culture. Even though I love Philly, don't get it twisted. Like I'm Philly joint all day and night, but we have to come to we can't early age of learning that there are different black cultures everywhere.
Yeah, it ain't all about your block now. It ain't all about your block. Yeah. So, boom. So now we there.
Yep.
So now we're going to fast forward a little bit in this story. So here comes 2001. Well, 2000. Me and my brother Mill, we decided to come out. Well, actually, first we partnered with my cousin to make a clothing line called Morocco. We started that, and then it stopped. It didn't last more than a year. Some things went wrong or whatever. Then me and Mill came back with Kemet Collective. So with Kemet Collective, me and Mill, Mill and Big John, we were always fashionable. And so what we did was we put our own twist onto fashion. So I got some pictures here of, if you remember these days.
Hey.
So, we had, it was things like that.
Yeah.
And he'll get it on the screen for you. This is me and Mill printing everything in the basement, so everybody knows.
This was the sweatshop.
Yeah.
Oh no, this the basement.
Yeah, this is sweatshop. This is sweatshop. Yes, it's sweatshop. Yeah.
Yo Gotti, where Yo Gotti at? That's all we listen to in the sweatshop.
Yo Gotti.
Y'all, that's the sweatshop.
And this is like how we used to look when we used to hit the road to go on tour with our stuff to go, So, and this right here is one of my favorite bartenders. I just had to put this up here because that's her and the other partner that had us, Big John. He was with us. Yep. Funny thing though. So what happened was we got this clothing line and we popping real crazy. We doing numbers, but we don't have a feminine thing for the women. And at this time, we like, man, like, damn. And it really wasn't really no urban woman stuff at the time. You might have a couple of Nietzsche sweatsuits and stuff like that, but it wasn't real big at the time. So comes along, talking with Mika at that time, and she like, yo, I can make your woman shit pop. And I'm like, man, you ain't make shit pop, man. She like, no, yes I can. I know it. So we did a couple test runs with her, and if it wasn't for her, I don't even think the line would have lasted as long as it did because it was stalling out. It was stalling out because we didn't have a lot of things. So first thing that she decided to make that she don't like she say she don't like now, but they did work. It was these gloves right here that she put on the hands of people. Mm-hmm. So these gloves is a thing that she just made to go along with it. But so she would add a flare to the clothing line. So the sweatshirt that was a normal woman's sweatshirt, she would add a flare to. Even at one point, she even made she made these. Let me get this picture right.
He taking me down memory lane, y'all.
I'm trying to show these people like your designer skills, your other gloves, some real good gloves right there. Yeah. But this is something right here that landed us all around the city. She made this pocketbook for us with these hoops in it. And this pocketbook kind of separated us from all the other clothing brands at the time. So the thing about it is that her woman's touch it kind of breathed life back into the company. I mean, the company was doing good, but it took us to like a different height because back then most clothing lines it was just a man's clothing line. So it was just the homies wore that. But we was probably one of the first ones that was able to incorporate. I'm talking about from an independent level. I'm not talking about like, the big brands, the big checks. So if we had a decent silk jacket for a man, she would put together color combinations like this for a woman and make a pretty good make a pretty good color combination that work for us. Or she would add flair with like a Janet Jackson look like this, showed us how to cut the shirts up. So like even now when they call the New York sandwich the chopped cheese, we used to call them the chopped deezies, and this is real shit for people that was around us. We used to call it chopped deezies because she would cut the bottom up and flare it out, and it gave us a lot of life. This invention she made right here was one of the craziest joints to zipper on a shirt. I know everybody gonna act like they had a zipper on a shirt, but nobody had a zipper on a shirt back in 2004, 5, maybe 6. There was no zipper on the shirts. Right here was the first time she even did some flare skirts in another bag. The flare skirts in another bag. But all this stuff I'm showing you, this is all the stuff that she made. And here's the woman's sweatsuit. Let me see if I got a better picture of it.
Damn, you keep taking me down. Remember?
Oh, she even made we had football jerseys that we did. She did the football jerseys for the women. She brung them in some. This is before Mitchell and Nessun was able to do it. This is way before everybody. Again, we were ahead of the time, but we didn't have the millions of dollars, but we had some independent money that was pretty good for us. But this sweatsuit right here, it's the only clear one I really have, but that sweatsuit right there, she kind of designed it to everything. She told us how to print it, and we had made a man's something like that for a man, and she was like, I should do that for the woman, and we talked about it. We found the right fit for it, and again, believe it or not, which is normal now, because you got Alibaba and stuff like that. That wasn't normal back then. We had to go to trade shows. We had to find all types of fabric. It was a very intense thing to find. So what made you dig into your design bag back then, back in like 2004 or 5? Like what made you?
We gotta state, me and Sharif was going together, right?
Yeah.
We gotta state that.
Yeah.
So like, you're not gonna let your person like struggle, like when you know you can help. That's basically what it was. It was like, like Sharif always was fly. Everything that you got, I wanted. You know what I mean? And like that was the thing nobody was getting. Like girls want exactly what the guy got. It's just that we had to find a sweatsuit then. We didn't have like girl sweatsuits. We had to find it. Only thing I did was, it sounded like genius then, but only thing I did was take everything they did man and made it
for women.
For women.
But the cuts, she made cuts different though, because cuts wasn't like that back
like
then.
you couldn't find a fitted jersey. Now you could go to, any stadium and get an Eagles jersey.
It wasn't like that back then.
It wasn't like that back then. So only thing really I did was emulate everything that y'all did and made it into woman. Now, what took it over the top was like women have other accessories that go with things that you had. So the pocketbook was popping because nobody never seen no all over print pocketbook.
Nope.
We used to get the rings from New Orleans. You know what I mean? You reminded me of all these different things, but I really want to say this to you, Sharif, is that people don't have money to make mistakes and like dream. You let me dream. Like you let me dream out loud. Like, okay, like Mika, here's the money, you do it. And you left me the fuck alone. And I did it. Like I'm looking at them gloves now, like who would fucking let somebody do fucking gloves with I'm looking at them now like, oh my God, you really let me do that shit. And he did. So he would leave me the fuck alone. The second thing is that Jamil, which is Sharif's brother, taught me a lot too. So he taught me how to heat press. He taught me how to screen print. He taught me all of those things in that sweatshop because he knew we were starting to get bigger and the volume was going up and different things like that. And the things that I wanted did not fit on a...
It didn't fit on the 16 by 20 like square. We had to expand it.
So we had to start getting like now they call them gang sheets, But
Yeah.
before, they used to get in trouble for getting more than one print on a sheet from
Yeah.
Transfer Express. Now they call it gang sheets. They call it gang sheets because of y'all. Go
But
ahead.
not just Transfer Express. Even with silk screening, we were the first people. And I don't care what anybody say because Mr. Sam is probably Mr. Sam has the oldest building on Burke Street, and he was
Is he
probably
still
the,
alive?
yeah. Last time I talked to him, it
Amen.
was probably like 3 years ago. Though I'm not really in the game like that. Like,
Yeah.
but Mr. Sam, when he realized what we were doing, we put more than one print on a silk screen. Because again, when you're a small business, you have to be creative. So when you're creative, so most people know most people with a silk screen, they get one, they take one screen and put one design on it.
Tell them what happened when they found out what y'all was doing. It's
So
the same.
so we was doing it. So what we would do is we'll put one going this way and then one upside down. So then when you silk screen it, all you do is just turn the screen around. You don't have to turn the shirt around, just turn the screen around. So one day they sitting there, Mr. Sam and I'm like, y'all getting more than one use out this screen. We like, yeah. It was like, yeah, it's pretty genius, but as of for now on, we're going up. This is an extra $25 when you do that now. And what he realizes that, so instead of us having to go $50 per design, shit, sometimes we could get 3 things on the screen. Sometimes we get 4 things on the screen. We still have those screens to this day. Like, we figured out how to reinvent the wheel at a very young age because it's just, that's why I love being around working with young people. Because a young person hasn't been beaten down by the world so they can think freely. So that's what happens in business. You always get an old person who want to do the same shit the same way for all the years. But then when you're young and you vibrant, you figure out some shit that the old people ain't figure out. And as soon as you figure out, then they come with the old people tax. And they be like, no. Now, but that was cool though, because Mr. Sam taught me, like, he actually helped me save more money than I ever had to spend. Also through dealing with Mr. Sam, he saw I was real because when I came and bought the first thing, I brought him a bankroll and I told him on a Friday I'd be back Monday. And when I came in there with this type of cash, this older white man had to be like, damn, this guy is serious. So when I came in there with that bankroll, he always he taught me more than he probably would have taught other people. And because of the relationship my cousin had with him, who introduced me to Mr. Sam, so I can't leave him out of that.
Yeah, well, Transfer Express, Stalls,
yeah, we tore him up.
From Kemet Collective.
Yeah, we tore him up. Yeah.
And that's that's a part of the story too. It's like, you know, it's not just you being creative.
Stretch that money.
It's being innovative and knowing how to in business stretch, like grow. How are we going to grow this business? How are we going to, you know, get these shirts out? Okay, we're going to have 3 on this sheet. We're going to have 3 on that sheet. We're going to have 3 on that sheet. So Kemet was just like me being untampered, like you said, not old, so young, life ain't beat me up yet, and just being the most creative that I could possibly be, but having that support to say, you could do whatever you want to do. And like, even like now y'all see me now, but I used to have color hair. This was before black girls wore color hair. Color hair, all different colors, child, a mess. Just like, and when I say a mess, I mean like a mess, like.
First girl I ever met with an $800 hairdo.
Yeah, like
I never heard of nothing like that.
Like a mess, meaning like I was just like.
Shout out to Brenda Belly. What was her name? Brenda Belly? Brenda something. I don't remember. Brenda something. Brenda.
Oh, Brenda. Just
yeah,
Brenda.
Yeah, just Brenda. Yeah, shout out to Brenda.
Yeah, like Dior, like I was just a mess.
Definitely Dior.
Like in this creative thing, like just doing whatever. And you being able to have a person that is not like picking you apart, like meaning, you get what I'm saying? Like not being like, oh, black girls don't wear this here, so I don't want you to come around me. Or when I am around you, not like letting people play me or like talk shit on me, being like different, because I mean, I'm still different, but I was really, really like different then.
I would say it was more edgy. She took more chances. She took more chances. So like with Gwen Stefani, when Gwen Stefani and them was doing the stuff that they were doing, she was already doing that type of stuff. So like when Gwen Stefani had Lamb, Kemet Collective Women's collection was if you compared it to anything, would be like in the vein of Lamb. Not saying she was biting off Lamb. I'm saying they was making the same type of designs at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Kemet was just me being able to be free and do anything that I wanted. That time period in my life, I lived at 759 South 15th Street, and it was so many creative people in that building. That was the best time of my life. All we did was Safa, rest in peace, Safa, did
Rest in peace,
poetry. She was like a guru before all these people was doing plants and herbs and all that shit. Like we just had a whole just like this like Harlem Renaissance type thing in this building, and we just did it, and we did it our way. Like meaning like Kemet was really the shit in Philly. Like it really was. Like we did all the fashion shows, hair shows. This is when all those things was popping, and I really wish it was an Instagram or something.
Look, funny you just said hair show. Remember this? This is a it's a solid gold book. This is no lie.
Listen.
If you was in this book, I swear to God to you, if you was ever in this book, you was saying something. And somewhere in here, I think it's in the middle. Oh, here we go, right here. Boom. Right there. Bayou. That's the Kemet brand right there. And it's solid gold book. This was big. Believe me, this was big back in the day. Like when we hit this, it was like, and again, like I said, so the woman's like, and this is a skirt that she did where you see where she did the things at the bottom. And what happened was, even this, when we hit this, so this was like the Philadelphia source of hairdos and shit. And when you hit this, it was crazy, and there was a play. So the shirt says "I love getting head," and the head was a play on the Kemet man head. So it wasn't sexual. It just was a play on it, and it was very controversial. And a lot of people, when they saw it, you know what I mean, when they saw it, they was like, "Oh, this is crazy," and we just played along with the head thing. Even this right here, we made this pamphlet in 2004. We took this pamphlet to Las Vegas, and we gave it out because this is the thing about Kemet, how Kemet gets started. Just to give you guys and this is not the Kemet episode. This is just because the Kemet episode is going to be the other people to be here when we finally do the Kemet episode. I'm working on the works with that with DreamWorks. But just to tell you how the things were going, we went to Kemet started because I've read the FUBU story, the Karl Kani story. I read a lot of stories about fashion. And I'm like, yo, man, we could do this same shit. I didn't know all the other inner workings was fashion. There was a lot of other shit that goes along with fashion I had no idea of. So by reading the story, I was like, man, we could do the same thing. So we went to Las Vegas in a trade show, and we gave this out. This was our pamphlet. We gave it all through Las Vegas. This is a great joint right here. This is the Camel joint that you made. This is a very good book.
And I said, Sharif, let's do y'all going there, let's do it. What you said, y'all?
Yeah.
Like he never said like.
So we had a digital one and we had a paper one, and we gave them all out around Las Vegas. I ain't get a motherfucking sell out of none of that shit. But I promise you, if you go back and look in 2004, academic bidders, I'm telling you, academic bidders, fucking damn, I want to say Dolce & Gabbana. I'm telling you, like all the brands, we ain't getting not one sell out that motherfucker. But I'm telling you, like 4 years later, the same things, same designs in this book, people started doing. I can't make this shit up. Like it's crazy because like when you're doing it, it feel like, damn man, we ain't get one sell, man. FUBU no one out there, they made millions of dollars. Karl Kani and them, they made the money. What's the other lady? What's the lady who had the light skinned lady? God damn, I can't think of her name right now. April Walker and they all went out there, they made money. We go out there, it's 2004, and at this time it's the rap brands. Nobody want just the urban brands, they want the rap brands. So out there we met Nelly, we met Dame Dash and all that shit. But the buyers wasn't looking for the next FUBU, they was looking for the next rapper brand. So we were kind of a little bit too late on that. And Instagram wasn't out back then. If Instagram and shit like that was out, we would have killed it.
Yo,
but
look at this view. This is my apartment in 2004. I can't even pay anything on this block. Look at the view. It's Center City. So we were in a time. We was in the creative opulence. We were in creative opulence, but just at the wrong time. This is Dior. This is Tanae. Shout out to Tanae.
Yep.
We did all the crop jackets. We was just popping. It was just popping. It was popping.
So boom. So now we're gonna fast forward because at this point she was on. You might say she was on a label. But what wound up happening is a couple years into that, she actually developed her own brand. I don't have the pictures of your brand, but we'll get some pictures up when you're watching it. So then at one point you started your brand, the Gotta Gotta brand. And the thing about Gotta Gotta was they actually had, and there's people who probably watch this that have some Gotta Gotta in their house and don't even know, but yes, the Gotta Gotta brand was, they had the cart in the gallery around 8th Street, correct? Around the 8th Street part of the gallery. And that cart was doing numbers. Like that cart was doing numbers. So it was like she did like an apprenticeship with me, and then she went on to start her own company. And from there, you could give them the rest.
So me and Sharif would break up a lot. Okay, and we just did, right? We were young and we just broke up a lot, right? So what happened was during one of the breakups, they didn't want us to use their stuff, whatever. I was starting to do this thing. They didn't want us to use. Anyway, the whole point is we had to
Shut
get our
that shit
own.
down.
Yes, basically. We had
Petty
to get
Smurf.
we had to get our own heat press and everything. But since I was purchasing all the stuff, I knew where to get all the stuff from. So I had to get my own heat press. I had to get my own, order my own stuff and Alpha, all these things that they've been showing me this whole time. It was just like, you know how to do this, Mika. Go ahead on and do it. So I started by myself, and I started at a shop that's still here today now, like expanded in Delaware and everything. It's called Empress Boutique. Shout out to Tasha on Woodland Avenue. You talk about a store that does numbers. Woodland Avenue, this store does amazing. Like I said, right now she's still on and popping. And I started Gotta Gotta. And the name Gotta Gotta came from an episode in Martin. And in this certain episode, he's like, you got that Gotta Gotta on. And they was... And it was like, anyway, so that's what it reminded me of. Like, it just was like so much stuff on it. It would be like embellished to the T, like hoodie embellished, all these different things embellished. And the owner, Tasha, she is from the islands. So, they love like embellishments and stuff. So she like, my mom got me hooked up with her mom. Rest in peace to her mom, and my stuff got in the shop. Okay, fine. But I was selling out, and at that time I was running a store called The Culture Shop, and The Culture Shop was owned by Kendrick the Family Soul. That is a Philly staple brand, artistry, family, everything. So they had a store that sold all Black, urban, BIPOC brands on Baltimore Avenue. And when I think of all Black everything, it's just like a full circle because we were already doing it. We already were doing it. We had our own Black brand. We would go to all these different Black places and vend with other Black vendors. Like, we always was in the space of buying Black. Right? So I also was, I started Gotta Gotta because I got, Wachovia got bought, the bank got bought, and they gave me a nice healthy check, okay? Healthy. And that's how I started Gotta Gotta. On unemployment, working at, can I say that? On unemployment, kinda working.
7 years later. Yeah, 7 years later.
7 years, okay. Kinda working at the Culture Shop, managing there. And then also going back and forth to New York because I was in school for the degree I really wanted. My first degree at Cal is in accounting, but I always wanted to do fashion. So I was at CCP, Community College of Philadelphia, for fashion merchandising, option to be a buyer. And
before any Black people was really in that field.
Nobody was in that. It was nobody in that field.
Not like how it is now.
But again, like, regardless of whatever with Sharif always was with the shits. Like I said, like, I can't tell my story without telling our story. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, because it's so intertwined. I had an internship with Norma Kamali. If anybody knows who Norma Kamali, just look her up, legendary. And legendary swimsuits, just legendary. And Sharif was with the shits. Like, okay, so I had to be there early in the morning. What time I had like early.
I had to get you downtown by like 4 or 5 in the morning.
4 or 5 in the morning.
Catch
and
train.
then I would catch the train home, right? Because I ain't know nobody live in New York like that. And I remember this one day, I didn't want to get up. When I say he poured water on me, y'all, cold. I'm talking about a bucket, like not no cup.
I was trying to get out the hood, man. You know, she wanted us to be poor. I was like, hey, listen, man, we got to get to know him Kamali, because this is real. Because at this time, I think was she stuff in Sex in the City? I don't remember what it was. It was on something. She was getting all types of spots.
Poured it. Poof. When I tell you, if you ever had water poured in your bed, you can't get comfortable no more. There's nowhere you could go. Got up and I went and I finished that internship out because of Sharif. And you know, we started Gotta, and like it just went so fast. Like we started vending outside, like just the grind of it. Like people don't ever want to do the stuff that makes it work.
Yeah,
meaning
the hard part.
We were on where was it? Max's. Remember we was vending outside that summer in the hood at Carla's shop. What's that? We was in the hood where Max's is, okay?
Oh, around Eagles.
Philly.
Yeah, right? Broad and Erie.
Broad fucking Erie. You want to know how much fucking money is on Broad and Erie? Do you fucking want to know how much money is on Broad and Erie? That's why they in Broad and Erie. We had a fucking table outside of a fucking African shop. My girlfriend at the time, her shop was on top. Mm-hmm. But we was really in front of an African shop. It was a rainbow on the corner.
Yeah.
And we just set up. And when I say the community, they wanted it, they bought from it. So don't believe that shit when they be talking about some black don't support black. That's all the fuck that supported us. That's all the fuck that supported us. Every single day we was out there. So it was about to get cold, and we like, well, what the fuck we gonna do? We can't be out here in the damn cold. We girls, you know what I mean? Like, we can't be out here bundle up. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't no niggas. So we not no ninjas. And so I'm like, my girlfriend and her husband had a cart, and they sold CDs. You see how old we are? They sold CDs.
The mixtape CDs.
They sold mixtape CDs, but they was in Suburban Station. And this was a while they stopped their business or whatever like that. They started a whole nother business that's still going on right now. So shout out to the Winfields. But I'm like, let's try to see if we could get a cart. So it's Pret, right? Preit. That's the company that runs the gallery, or it was, now it's the fashion.
Yeah, before it was the fashion one.
Fashion district. And we got a cart at the Gallery Mall. That cart back then was probably like $3,000 a month. Do you know how many people go through the gallery? It is a tunnel of people because you have New Jersey Transit, you have all the transit systems, and they meet right there. I don't know how much it costs now, but $3,000 back then was a lot of money for us to be coming off the street. But let me tell you something, we had it. And that was from Erie fucking Avenue. We grinded out that whole fucking summer. Listen, we're Tanae. Where's the picture of Tanae?
Right here.
You see how I look, right? This Tanae, she a whole model.
Mm-hmm.
About
90 pounds.
Whole model. Look, and I was thin, right? But she was thinner than me. The fact that we was in a neighborhood that was not our own. I'm from Southwest, she's from South Philly. We in North Philly on Erie Avenue. Niggas was buying their girlfriend's stuff every day, going to parties every day, buying stuff, all this. That's how we got in the gallery. So shout out to Erie Avenue, because if we didn't do that, we wouldn't even have the money to go in the motherfucking gallery. And the gallery is where it all got started. Can we keep going? I know it's long.
Yeah, keep going. So go to the gallery. So now you at the gallery.
Child, we at the gallery. The gallery was a whole nother beast. I think Erie Avenue was better than the damn gallery. No, I'm talking about the people and learning your audience, learning the people. We did the damn thing in the gallery, Sharif. I think that was the best thing that we did with Gotta Gotta at the time.
What do you think like your monthlies were in the gallery? Like, what do you think you were grossing at that time as far as being in the gallery?
Just gross, probably a month. Probably like we was doing like 20,000 a month. Mm-hmm. That's, before we had to get because we had to keep re-ing up.
Now this is the thing when people hear 20,000, first thing they go is like, oh my God, that's $240,000 a year. Yeah, that sounds beautiful, right? But you gotta remember is you gotta go buy your product, you gotta re-up, you gotta pay rent. You know what I mean? So really, you may make 10 to 20% out of that gross if you're lucky.
That's when and we wasn't paying ourselves. So like at the end of the year, we probably. Our first year, we probably made about 60, like you get what I'm saying? Like 78, like it was deep, but that gallery.
But that wasn't a whole year though. That was only like a couple of months because y'all went in there. Y'all went in there. I remember because one of my guys had to go down there and set up the stand.
Yeah.
It was I think I went in there in September or something like that. It was like the end of the year. Yeah. Whenever y'all went in there, it was the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 80,000 from September to December.
It was like Sharif like it was just different. It's a different community. We were the only black stand in there. So it was all like people from my girlfriend Layla, like all Indians. We had a rest in peace print shop right next to us. Mm-hmm. That was my Asian boy. Like he was cool as shit. Only thing he did, he made millions doing rest in peace fucking shirts. Do you hear me? Fucking yens doing rest in peace shirts. We was right next to him. Our stand was called I Love Hoodies. But we sold Gotta Gotta on there. And we had to start purchasing other hoodies because I couldn't work the stand and make the stuff at the same time. And it was just me and Tanae. What I want to say about this experience is, at the time it was Angela Simmons, the Simmons. They had ice cream or cream. They had a clothing line, and everybody used to say, "You and Tanae is like the Angela Simmons and all of them," because they had this new clothing line sneaker called Ice Creams or cream. I forgot the name of the shit, right? And
she's not talking about the Pharrell shit.
No, Angela Simmons. They was hot then. Mm-hmm. They had a show and everything, and people were buying they stuff out, and they was like, "They like you." We had families that were middle class working. If they all would have got together and gave us money, we could have been them. Mm-hmm. And I say this to say that when you see people and they doing their thing, don't talk shit on them. Oh, Mika don't got a job or whatever. Help them get to their goal because it was going to help us all at the end. Mm-hmm. We upgraded because our first cart was in the dungeon. That's like, it was dark down there.
Yeah, right. Almost by the steps of 8th Street. Almost when you about to enter 8th Street.
Just think of Ross, underground Ross. Like when you go into Ross underground, then our next cart was in the light. So that was like in the area over there by when you go to Cinnabon and all of that. It was like bright.
Where the mixtape stand used to be at.
It was so bright over there. We was next to like a T-Mobile. We was next to like
not too far from Dr. Denham. I think Dr. Denham was on the corner, like on a caddy corner.
Yeah, we was next to like a person that like sold jewelry. So we in the bright now. That spot probably was like $6,000 a month. And during that time, we were selling Obama shirts off the hook, and it was a recession. So the stores started closing around us. And we had to make a decision. And we made the decision to stop. We never started back up again. It was a lot of things that happened to us, and it wasn't Gotta Gotta. We entered into a prestigious program that we took the summer off to win this money. I think it was like $20,000 or something.
I remember all that bullshit.
And we won it, but they didn't have the money. They never told us that they had to raise the money for us to get the money. And we had to split the earnings, and we ended up having $5,000. Me and Tanae split that $2,500, $2,500, and we went on about our business, and that's how we stopped Gotta Gotta. We stopped on the top, though. We stopped winning. I always, I never, this all black everything, I don't even go in on it like that because it touches a part of me that I don't ever want to go back to.
So you're saying that creative part, you don't want to crack that? Put all that
Gotta,
blood and sweat?
Gotta almost, that loss, that recession, that loss, that, even losing you, because I wasn't even seeing you during that time. It was no me and you. I don't even know what you was doing because everything, everything, I lost everything, it seems like all at one time, and it was over something that we was putting fuck 100%. We was putting life into it.
Now, what I will tell y'all is at the time when she's going through her thing, this recession is real big. This is 2008. Mm-hmm. At the time of 2008, I had put all my chips and cards into a bar and real estate. We'll talk about that shit in another episode. But I pretty much dumped everything I had into one thing, waiting for this big move to come back. And this big move was supposed to net me about $1 million easy. And pretty much right when I spent all the money I was actually with you. I was with her going to your mom's job or something. And I got the call from the bank. This is 2007. And they told me they weren't going to finance my deal. And this is funny because at the time it's a flip cell phone. And them phones don't even work in elevators. But somehow the call came through that day. And I remember standing in the elevator rocking back and forth because I knew I had just put all my money into this one deal. And this one deal was supposed to be the deal that would bring the resurgence of the Kemet Collective. If I had to give her $50,000 or $60,000, I could have gave it to her. It was the deal that was going to make me whole with all the investments that I did. Because what happened with me is when me and my brother was in fashion, we hit a ceiling in fashion, and this is different than any of y'all can understand. We go to Vegas, we try to get the distributors. Nobody wanted to fuck with us a certain number. So when we come back from Vegas, I tell my brother look, I'm gonna go 100% into real estate because I know I can get the money back from real estate. You just keep the fashion. He was keeping the fashion and the music going. I'm keeping the real estate going. At that time, I had a partner who decided that I should buy this bar. And to make a long story short, it was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. And it probably, honestly, it really is a good deal because now that same property is worth $1 million fucking dollars. That one property, well, at that time we had 2 properties, and they all were gonna. It was a beautiful idea, but the problem was everything was working like this. From 2004 to 2008, everything we did worked like this. Now, the next move had to work like this. See how slow I'm moving? And I didn't know that part of business. You gotta remember, I'm 20, probably 25, 26 years old at the time. I don't know shit about a downturn in the economy. Only thing I know is that we all came out and we was hitting half-court jump shots every fucking day. We hitting these half-court shots. I didn't understand that markets go down, you're gonna go flat. You have to, doggy paddle on the fucking shit for a while and just relax. One of the worst things I ever did, that's why people think that when I bring entrepreneurs on or I bring artists on, I always try to tell people hey, listen, when shit get bad, don't be scared to go get a job. See, people try to say, no, I'm gonna do this till I die and all that shit. And that's fine, you can do it till you die. I'm not gonna hate on that. I've seen some people make it, but then I also seen the morgue. And I'm talking about the morgue of artists, where the rapper who didn't make it, now he getting high. The basketball player who didn't make it, now he getting high. The designer who didn't make it, now he doing this. The construction guy that didn't. I see the morgue of all the guys that lied, that's fucked up, that didn't have the wherewithal to say, hey, look, let me put my pride to the side, build myself back up, and come back. So that's why the questions I ask sometimes in these episodes be like that.
But this is what it is, right? I was in that morgue. Gotta, that, nobody tells you that in school.
No.
Nobody tells you what that feeling was like. That's the first time I could say that I was depressed. And I was in a place, And you gotta understand too, Sharif, and just anybody that's watching this, like, I knew in my life when I was young that if I didn't perform well, I wasn't going to get the things that I wanted. That's how I thought life was until God had got it. Meaning, you get straight A's, you're going to get these, whatever you want. You want Louis Vuitton, what you want. Like, that's how my parents was. But I knew if I was getting D's and F's, I wasn't getting nothing. Same thing with you. As long as I was doing what I was supposed to do, I knew I was going to get if I needed it, if I wanted it, right? So all those things, I'm thinking if I put my all into this gotta come back good. When did it ever not? Well, baby. And I had to go to therapy, church, everything, because it was the economy, it wasn't you. Yeah. It had nothing to do with me. And the funniest part is that place that I was in, I've been in it for a long time. My girlfriend Safa, the one that I told you lived in that beautiful building that we were all creating, and she died. And when she died, that's when All Black Everything Pop-Up began. That's how me and Sharif started talking again. Because I was like, her last days on earth, she was like, asking about Sharif. I haven't talked to Sharif since I was 30. So that's 12, 13 years I haven't talked to Sharif. I'm talking about like nothing. Like ain't seen him, ain't talked to him, ain't nothing. Ain't care to see him, ain't care to talk to him, ain't nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I swore I would never talk to him again. During that time, we were so together so much. And like her ending of her life, she just was like, you still do the clothes? And she would ask over and over again, you still do them clothes? You still do them pop-ups? This is before pop-ups was popping. We was doing pop-ups.
Yeah, we were doing pop-ups before
pop-ups was
they were
popping.
Called trunk shows. They were called trunk shows. They were called trunk shows back then.
They was called trunk, and we would do them, right? And she like, where's Sharif? You talk to Sharif? I'm like, I told you yesterday, I don't talk to him no more. I don't talk to him no more, Safa. When she died, I said, I gotta tell Sharif Safa died. And that's what opened our communication up. The month after she died, for my birthday, I said I'm gonna do a pop-up. It's gonna be called All Black Everything Pop-Up. When I say this is full circle, I'm saying this is full circle. If I was in that place of not creativity, I'm just going to get a corporate job that almost killed me.
But
right?
hold on. Her corporate job was working and creating looks for Saks.
Yeah, I worked at Saks.
She was creating a lot of things.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Like so. I mean, but I get it though, because it wasn't feeding her soul though.
It was. You think that you are okay. Let's do this again. That whole time, I went into styling, fashion styling, which I loved. Fashion styling during that time changed. It changed from being magazines and all these I'm talking about hundreds of $1,000 trips that I would go on, do these photo shoots, to digital, what we doing right now. And that changed the game. So that creativity went away. Do you hear me? When I say away, I mean away. To the point is, at Saks, we used to do, when I used to work at Saks, we did looklet set, and everything's done post. It's a green mannequin. They got rid of the model. They got rid of the photographer. The location. They could put everything they want in post, right? So what creativity is that, right? I'm going in and I'm just being every single day. And best believe that they're going to have a robot do my job because they've been watching me for about 10 years. Put on a shirt. And then they're going to get rid of me, which is the fashion stylist. So it'll be a set that will run itself in about, I'm going to say 5 years, but it might be quicker than that, because that whole time they've been watching us do every single thing to that mannequin. Put on pants, put on shirts, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you think because I work for Saks and I'm at the highest level that I can be in that career, that I was happy. I wasn't. I mean, it was the worst time of my life, right? And you go to now, like, and that's that desert, that's that suppressing all my creativity to fit in.
Yeah.
To look like I got this, and I look like I got that.
Code switching every
I
day.
look like I got this, and I look like I got that, Sharif. And I can, if my ex look me up, I work for, all of that shit for everybody else. But when I saw my girlfriend die of cancer and was in her last days, and the things that she thought of me, it had nothing to do with sex. You see what I mean? It had to do with my creativity. It had to do with that time that I was at my best self. And it made me remember my best self and how I felt, how I looked, how I had my swag, how I was just free. So let's move forward. Now, if I did not, and I kept in my pride and I didn't contact Sharif, the time in my life I'm in now, I wouldn't have even been able to keep afloat. Because the things that I learned from you is what's keeping me afloat now. Heat press, ordering stuff, reselling, all of these things that I'm doing.
How to bust moves financially too. how to play around, not with that bullshit they be selling on the internet.
No,
like real business moves. We're not gonna go into them, but it's just real business moves.
But what I'm saying to you is I did not put my pride aside and say, okay, let me reach out to this person. This time in my life, I didn't know that this was going to happen in my life.
No,
right?
not at all. No, you just told me Safa died.
Set me all the way up. And that's why I'm like, Sharif, you got to write a book. You got to do an e-class. But so many people be jiving.
Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit out here.
That you don't even really be wanting to touch it. But he set me all the way up for me to be able to do all Black Everything pop-up without having a job. For how many? Since July.
Yeah, for a year.
Well,
yeah, since July this year.
Since July. So it's those things that they don't teach you, that they can never teach you in school. But that graveyard of creatives is the truth.
Yeah, it's just people who just don't hit their potential. And the thing about me is, like, I don't have that type of talent. That type of creativity, I don't have that. I have a different type of thing. And the thing about it is that when I see the people that I love or the people that's close to me going into that graveyard, I help to pull them out. Sometimes I'm successful, some pulling some out, some people I'm not. But I do tell people, like, hey, listen, hey, this is what's about to happen to you. I mean, it's a lot of things we could talk about, like a fashion shoes. Like, she's the first person to take me to show me Nikki Beach. This is Nikki Beach when there were no Black people on Nikki Beach. And I went to Nikki Beach with Tim's on, just to know that I didn't even know what Nikki Beach was.
Tim's, y'all.
Yeah, and it was a big photo shoot, big time photo shoot. I seen big photo shoots. I don't know how we got to.
Can we tell them the story about the van?
About the van?
Yo, listen, quick story. Sharif used to have this red van, right? All in the back was just, I don't even know, just a mess. It was just pounds and pounds of trash. I don't even fucking know what's in the
all
back
types
of
of
this van.
shit. Like
right?
the police said, he gave a dead body back there.
I'm so young. I didn't even pay no mind. Only thing I know is he would come pick me up, do everything I needed to do. Okay, right. I had to go to this meeting, and the publication that I was in, some publications would be gay magazines, right? Gay male magazines, right? And we would do photo shoots for these gay male magazines. So I'm putting my book together while I'm in the van. I don't even know if you remember. I'm putting my book together like, used to have to have a book to prove that you were a stylist. So I'm putting my stuff in the book. I leave the magazine in the van. I get a call on set at my I don't even know if I got this job or not. Anybody know old Sharif? Mika. I'm like, Sharif, I'm at the Mika, tell them it's your fucking magazine. I'm like, what magazine? Tell these motherfuckers this is your magazine. Tell these motherfuckers this is your magazine. And I'm like, it's my magazine, right? Yo, I'm like, oh shit, kill me. Get home. He was like, don't you ever leave this shit. Look, he's like, don't you ever leave this shit in my.
Yeah.
So they thought that Sheree was looking at Men magazine.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing. So this van she talking about, it was like an exporter van through the city. Like everybody was in this van. If you know me, I don't even know who was all in this van at this time. So it was always somebody getting in and out this van with me, because this van was how I did my thing. I drove a van for like 10 years. You probably couldn't pay me to get in the van nowadays. But for 10 years I had a van. I used to valet park this van downtown in front of the big clubs. This is real shit. So when she left for the magazine van, I don't know who got in the car with me, but they got in the car, and again I had bars, and I had places we used to be at. So somebody probably got in there and saw the magazine and probably tried to run around, trying to play me like yo, and like you gotta understand, this is like 2006, 2005. So I know it's a lot of things that we don't say that we used to say before. So it's a lot of shit. So I wasn't even. Back then, everybody was separated. Even if you did do stuff, it was separated. The backpackers didn't hang around the thugs. The drug dealers didn't hang around the stick-up kids. Everybody was separated. So homosexuals at that time weren't. It wasn't like how it is now, where everybody is like more accepting. Actually, one of my biggest Achilles heels in fashion was not understanding going into parties. Now, mind you, I'm in the fashion industry, and I'm in the party, and there are transsexuals, they're homosexual, and I didn't understand like how to even be in the environment like this, because I'm 20 years old. I'm Philadelphia. I'm my own style. I only be around people. And then all of a sudden I'm in these parties, and in the fashion world, everything was different. And when the higher I got up in it, I just was like, I don't understand this. I'm like, I didn't even get it. If you remember, we was at the party for Kevin Costner and for the movie. And they brought the strippers out. One was a real stripper, and then the other one was a man, but it looked like a woman. And the thing of the jig came out, and I was like, oh fuck no! Like I had a whole moment in there, like probably fucked up some business for us that night. But like I wasn't prepared for that at that time. So yeah, you leaving the magazine in the car, and then the people that I know seeing it. At that time, like, yeah, I can see me going crazy.
He didn't care where I was at. He didn't care I was at a job interview. He didn't care what. Only thing he knew was that I could say that was a funny ass story, Sheree. Like,
yeah. It's a lot of them in my life.
It is, because it's like, who would believe that your girlfriend, your girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody knew how
deep
she was in fashion. Nobody even knew what
a stylist was.
Yeah, it wasn't a normal term.
This gay magazine in my car, but I really, if anybody's
in the red van
that
everybody see me in every day. And the red van everybody see me in.
If you're watching this, it really happened. It really was my man. But that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, so she worked in a lot of publications. She been in all the big magazines. She was with a guy named Rodney. Rodney was your
Rodney was my mentor. That was my first. And only person that I assisted, and how I met Rodney. It's this legend, Black. Her name is Patty Wilson. She is the best stylist in the whole wide world. D&G, all types of beautiful art she has made styling. And I was in an internship in New York at Showroom 7. It was the biggest at the time showroom. All the artists had their stuff in this place. So I'm the only Black person in there again. A lot of these places, only Black person. And then there was a lady named D, and D ran the closet. You running the closet is essential to a stylist. So she was the only Black, and she was a woman, and she ran the closet. That means even though all these white people own Showroom 7, everybody had to be nice to D. You want to know why? Because if you wanted to pull clothes, I don't care who sent you where, you had to come to that closet and pull it from D. And me and D got cool. And I said, this lady come in, she got a bun on her head, she fly as shit, y'all. I'm like, what she do? This is before the internet. This before, I didn't know what a fashion stylist was, y'all. So I'm thinking I want to be a fashion designer or something. And she said, she's a stylist. I said, what is a stylist? And she said, let me hook you up. And she introduced me to Rodney. Our first ever photo shoot was with Nia Long. It was in Harlem. And that place is not even there no more. And this old school restaurant that was in Harlem for years, it's not even there no more. And Wendy Williams was on the radio trying to say that she was pregnant at the time, Nia Long. And I'm sitting up there styling her, knowing that she's not pregnant, right? Her period was on, right? So I'm in there getting tampons, the assistant going to get tampons for her, whatever. And it's so weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just Wendy, like, oh, they said she's pregnant. I'm just like, well, we doing this thing with her. And that was our first. And after that, Rodney was like, I don't want anybody else to assist you but me. I assisted him for years. And then went on my own. And again, in life, right when I went on my own, my biggest client, I'm talking about $20,000 for one photo shoot. That's how much I was getting. My biggest client, they closed. Because everything was turning to digital.
Yep.
So the publication industry shut down. So right when I was about to pop off,
It went poof.
That industry went poof, and this other new emerging industry started coming.
A lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper, pay a lot cheaper, all types of stuff. But I had to transition there because I knew that's where everything was going. A lot of people didn't and came on late. I would say to that, like, you have to go with the times. Do not sit still. This industry is moving so quickly.
Extremely
you have
fast.
you cannot be like our parents and be stuck. You have to keep going because there's so many people like Rodney that had to end up getting a job for in my industry when he probably could have been like so much further than me.
He could have been ahead.
So just always, it's not about jumping on what's new. It's already old. Just think of that. Like when something is new, it's already old now. Like because the time is just winding up.
And that's one thing about any profession you in. Like, you know, we laugh sometimes about going to trade shows, but that's what me and my brother used to do. We went to all the trade shows because that's how we knew about the newest ink, the newest cloth, So if you go back to some of the shit we've made 20 years ago, people just now catching up. All those fabrics that they come getting now. We had those fabrics years ago, you know, because you was right there with us. Like it's funny, like even when American Apparel first come to Philadelphia, everybody like, oh my God, this American Apparel shit. We was buying it. Yeah, we was buying that shit from California when American Apparel only had one store, and they had their actual first book was pretty much the size of this, and it was 3 pages. Like this is no lie.
But
like,
they had the fit.
They had the fit. Because they had the fit that everybody was looking for, but nobody knew where it was
I
at.
like this conversation, Sharif, because nobody cares about what you did.
Yep.
And they look at you now, and they like,
He ain't nobody.
you biting me, or you, baby, I done did that 500 times over, or he done did that 500 times over. Nobody wants to know what you did, and I think that's a bad expression, or is used out of context. Like nobody don't care about what you did. Where you at now? What you doing now? What money you got now?
That's a lame ass. That's a lame ass
What you
thing.
got now? Wait, hold up. A lot has to do with who you are now from
who you was once before.
Because, like I said, this whole thing, this all black everything pop up is just a full circle moment. It's all those moments combined, and like you know how to do all these things because you already did them. It's like Slumdog Millionaire. Like everything in that little boy's life let him get every damn answer right. That's my life right now. I'm checking them off because I already did it. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those type situations. So thank you for having me on, telling a piece of my story.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for you coming in. We're going to do another one because the ABE, we didn't really get a chance to dive into ABE, but I did want everybody to see we're in ABE Studios right now. I wanted everybody to see, like, you know, when you see this stuff on the news and you start thinking like, well, how she got it there? How she do that? How she do that? And you know, some of y'all don't understand, like, she was working with some of the biggest PR people, and I didn't even know what PR was. Like, she was working with PR. She's the one that taught me the structure of business. See, I know how to buy for one and sell for two. That's what I know how to do. I know how to get the money. But it's a structure that your company has to go in that will take you to the next level. And it's not done by one person, two people, three people. No, it's usually a team of people.
Give me that book, Sharif. Like, if I wasn't working at Showroom 7, I wouldn't know that he needed this.
Yep.
To go, showing all the different,
all the designs and
all the different designs, all the different looks, and it's a whole catalog. Basically, it's a catalog. All of those things, all those corporate things that I've learned from Saks. It was a reason why I was there, because now I take it and I not only bring it to y'all, but I bring it to when I do ABE Black Business Live. I give that knowledge to other different black brands. And they just think, oh, Mika, thank you so much. How you know that? I know that because
I really did it, motherfucker.
I really did it.
I got skin in the game, and that's the thing about it. It's like, we really got skin in the game. And that's what made me be able to start telling this story and to interview people who was a part of my story, because I've done a lot of shit that I don't even like really talking about, because when you talk, people think you're bragging or you're lying, or they think you're supposed to have a Maserati, or you only listen to the guy with this car or that car. And I've never been that guy. I never been that guy. I never want to be that guy. I mean, you're gonna get trinkets in life. That's how this shit go. But
I do want you. This is the last thing. I know we probably like over times 100. I'm sorry, Mary. I'm sorry, Soda. I'm sorry, y'all. But this is the thing. We were brought up in a way that we could never. We were brought up in a way that we could never survive and live in a place comfortably with good things. And my dream for you is to be able to live somewhere comfortably with good things. Meaning, like, you have to always hide your godliness or your kingdom or your king, so nobody try to take it from you, rob you, steal from you, mark you, right? Follow you home, all these things that we have, but all these things that us as a community have to deal with.
Yeah, survival. Survival.
You can't even enjoy
your riches.
So that's my thing for you, Sharif, is that I would love for you to just be somewhere, live comfortably, and be able to.
I'm very comfortable now.
No, I mean, and be able to have the things that you want in life, because I see so many. You talk about, like, I see so many people not do certain things so for safety, if that makes sense, or for this and that. Give you a quick one. I was dating this guy. He thought he had a lot of money. He thought he had a lot of money. I don't know. He just whatever. So I told him about my ex, because Sharif is my ex, right? This is my only ex. Everybody else just been whatever. This is my ex, right? He looked him up and was like, oh no, I have to do more. Your ex has more money than me. I said, he got more money. People don't never understand more money. It's not money.
I don't know what he was looking at.
No. It's not money. It's like your name has a value to it. That doesn't mean that you have that money in your hand.
Not at all. I ain't got
shit.
This
man invested in real estate at a very young age. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, you got the game at a very young age. You're going to have more money more, what you call it? Is it assets or?
Yeah, it's just assets.
Assets. Yeah. Than someone that got in the game 2 years ago.
Yeah. But none of that shit matters. but listen though, like, it's a lot of funny stories that we could talk about. Like I said, we had to do a part 2 to this, because, like, we didn't get to tell y'all about how, like, when she was in community and we went to Gabe's, we used to get the shit from Gabe, sell it to all the people in her fashion class. But then I ain't even gonna hold you though. We even went to fucking Canal Street, got some shit. We would go get the fake Louis shit and sell it to people because we knew how people was on those brands. Like it's a lot of shit. We knew what everybody wanted, and we were able to even make an underground market where she was able to flourish and just have her like. That
Shout
was just
out to the hair salons.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
the
gosh,
hair
the
salons,
hair. But this is the things people don't do. Like it's still hair salons today. I would walk in there, wouldn't know nobody, y'all. It's like the most embarrassing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
walk in there with a bunch of product, come back out with a lot of money. I used to be
it
riding
only,
with him.
but it only would he would drop me off 22nd Street in my line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like he would drop me off. I'd be like, all right, I want to go to this. This is a hair salon that's popping. Like I want to Brenda. That's how we got them.
But she was going in there too, getting like the most expensive person in there to do her hair too. So that's another thing, because it's probably somebody like, well, we do that now. Yeah, but it's the way you ease into places. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Brenda. Like shout out to Dia.
Incognito, the one on 22nd Street. Yeah, all
like,
them joints.
Every space that we went in, it only took one person to buy. Like I would be like praying before I go in there, like shivering, shaking, like, all right, God, like I just need one person to buy something. Like if one person buy, then they all gonna come over, and that's always what happened. It only took one person to be like, oh, that's cute, let me see. And then everybody else would come. Here for you. Like all of these different fly ass hair salons, because you know Philly been fly. Like all these like in hair salons, they will buy my stuff. And that's how I started out. Like before Cart,
before you made your own brand. Yeah, before you made your own brand.
Before any of that was me going to community, selling my stuff, and me going to hair salon selling my stuff. And because I went to hair salon selling my stuff, that got Kemet into fashion shows and hair shows
everything.
And different things like that.
Yeah, got the women's line popping. And because we had the streets with the dudes, but she opened us up to the women, and that's what like propelled us, and that's what even gave us longer legs than most companies at that time. So when we first came out with our brand, it was probably like 4 or 5 brands that were actually doing numbers. We were like one of the last ones to fade off. So, and we really didn't fade off. We working on some shit, but it's not, we don't do it for like, now when me and my brother do shit, it's more art now. We not even like, it's not about the money and all that shit now, because the games are a lot more rigged than a lot of y'all will ever know. You'll get higher up in there and you'll start seeing how rigged this shit is. You'll start seeing that like, you know, you think these people who was making 100 million was getting 100 million, but no, they was getting 2 to 5% off $100 million gross, which is more than what the average person make. But shit, that 2%, you could be getting that yourself if you print it out. Like it's a lot of shit that's changed. If direct to consumer was as big as it is now back then, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If was a fifth, we all be drunk. But I know what our grind was. It was a very good conversation. I want to thank you, and look forward to doing some business with you in the near future. And you know.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you very much. This is Sharif Hangus with Just Conversations, No Interviews.